S-Works frame versus regular specialized frame. What is the difference and what does it mean to you as a consumer? In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at different types of carbon fiber layups between every different company, from Specialized to Trek to Scott to BMC. We'll talk about all those different brands. But the biggest question I get asked majority of times in my store, because we are a bicycle store, is what is the difference between the regular specialized frame and the S-Works, and do I need it? And that will also be taking a look at that statement, because we're gonna dissect what's the differences between a need and a want, all right? So hopefully guys, stay tuned and enjoy the video, and hopefully you learn some cool information. Also, a big shout out to the father and son who came into my store today. They brought me a bike to adjust, but then he told me that they watched my YouTube videos, and even his son, I think his son was like 9 or 10 years old. Really cool experience because of the fact that he was like asking questions about the bicycles I showcase, everything like that, and it just really did make me feel like a feel-good moment. So it's awesome. So thank you guys again for your support. I don't realize how many people I reach out to, but it is really, really cool, and those moments always make my day. So thank you to them. And also, let's get into today's video. All right, so companies will have different price points of bicycles and different tiers of bicycles, obviously to hit different price points of consumers. The S-Works frame is made by Specialized. Customers will come into my store and say, what is it at S-Works? And I say it's made by the exact same brand, which is Specialized. But anything marked with an S-Works is their top of the line, their top tier. Usually comes with everything flagship of the highest end components, the highest end wheels, and everything like that. It's also marked with a little logo right here, Fact Carbon 12R, R standing for road. This is the lightest weight carbon fiber layup you can get on their bicycle. And we'll take a deeper dive into that in just a second. They're Specialized marked bicycles. It's the exact same frame in terms of geometry, in terms of style, in terms of everything, but they're marked with a different Fact Carbon 10R. Basically meaning that the carbon fiber layup on here is different. And the reason for that is that they're able to go ahead and achieve a little bit cheaper way to make this bike. They don't have to go ahead and look over the layup process as much. Whereas their S-Works process, it is as top of the line you can get. It takes a little bit more patience when laying up the carbon fiber. They went ahead and they reduced all the excess material of carbon fiber when laying it wherever they can. They make sure the bottom bracket is as stiff as possible. The seat post, the head tube area, all the places are going to get tremendous amounts of force and power. They want to go ahead and reinforce. Get out of the store. Sorry, I was just an employee. Send him by. I'll murder him next time he says that and interrupts me. So this will be the top line. So for instance, the Fact Carbon 12R frame, they advertise it as 685 grams for a size medium in an unpainted frame. Whereas their regular Specialized frame, the exact same Tarmac SLA bike, they advertise it as 800 grams in their 10R model build-up. So that's a difference of about 115 grams. Now, customers always go, do I need it? And that's the difference between wants and needs. You can do anything and almost everything you want on this bicycle that you can do with this bicycle. But if you want to go ahead, again, want to build up the lightest, the best possible output of the bicycle that you can possibly get, it's this. This is their lightest stiffness to weight ratio bicycle that they make with the S-Works models. So they're able to go ahead and reduce the frame as much as possible without sacrificing any stiffness in the bottom bracket area, so it doesn't feel like what people claim as a wet noodle. So it still reframes that very stiffness that everyone likes, the rigidity, but it's also a little bit lighter in terms of this era. Now, does that mean that it's $1,500 or $1,700 more expensive? Are you gonna get $1,700 more power output? No, but if you're trying to achieve that crazy build that you're looking to do, or you just want the best of everything, or you just want the S-Works badge, this is the route to go. Now, they even have a cheaper or a more heavier carbon fiber layup than this one, and that will be their Fact Carbon 9R, and that's usually on their leftover models. So right now, their latest model that they have out is the Specialized Tarmac SL8, but they have the Tarmac SL7 in the sport model with 105 mechanical that is right here. I think it's around $3,500 retail, and you can even see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Fact Carbon 9R. So this is one step underneath that 10R carbon fiber. And again, their Tarmac SL7 was their flagship bike before the SL8. So being through those trials and tribulations of the 3 years making it, they were able to go ahead and figure out more efficient ways to make this carbon fiber frame. And this frame, I believe, is advertised around 1,000 grams. So again, 200 grams heavier than the SL8 Pro. And again, the whole reason for this is because when they're manufacturing, making these frames in there, they still have people going ahead and putting these carbon fiber frames together, laying up the carbon fiber and placing it in places where it needs it, like the extra bottom bracket places and stuff like that. So with the S-Works, to achieve that lightweight and to achieve that efficiency, you need to have someone watching over that and taking a little bit more care and a little bit more precision when laying down those carbon fibers and removing the excess. Whereas this one doesn't need as much attention, so it costs less to produce. So in that same matter. And other companies have the same significance as well. Trek with their Madone, they have the SL and then they have the SLR. So two different carbon fiber models, like the OCLV 500 and then the 800. The 800 is going to be the lightest possible carbon fiber. Same thing with BMC. I've done videos on the BMC Team Machine R with the Masterpiece. They even have that option where the Team Machine R right now, they only make one model of it, or a one carbon fiber frame, and then they have a bunch of different models of it. And that's it. So the same frame that's on their $8,000 bike is the exact same frame on the $14,000 bike, but the components change. Now, if you really wanted to step up, then they have that Masterpiece bicycle, which is a $9,000 frame, where they literally will go ahead and they'll have one guy stay on that bike, I think for about like 48 hours, literally creating, concocting, laying down carbon fiber exactly where it needs to be, removing excess exactly where it needs to be removed at, to go ahead and achieve the lightest weight version of that bicycle frame out there, which is tedious and it costs a lot of money. That's why they only made the Masterpiece with a limit of 200 quantity frames. But you don't have to go to that extent to go ahead and get different carbon fiber layups. Same with the Pinarello Dogma Fs, and then they have the F9s, and then the F7s, so on and so forth. It's seen all around the world. Same with the Scotts. Scott has their HMX SL, which is their Scott Foil Ultimate, or their Scott Addict Ultimate, which is their lightest weight carbon fiber. And then they have just a regular carbon fiber model like the Pro models, which are going to be just a tad bit heavier. And so that's really what it comes down to. Now, is it something that you absolutely need? I've been riding the Pro model for the entire time I had a Tarmac SL8. I've ridden the 10R carbon fiber, and some people even prefer that if they're a heavier guy, or some people have this thought in their head that the heavier frame will always be stiffer, so that way they want to go ahead. They don't want to have that noodly feeling bicycle, so they're always concerned about that. So they always want a little bit of a heavier frame to go ahead and hold that stiffness of the bicycle when putting down power. But again, these frames are only about 115 grams off. So I've had customers come into my store saying, I need the S-Works. It's light years faster. The stiffness to weight ratio is crazy. The snappiness is crazy. But again, at the end of the day, it really is just that 115 grams of weight. So do you really, really need it? If you're trying to achieve the best possible build and everything top line, then you as a consumer may need it. You probably want it, but you don't necessarily need it to ride a bicycle. You can do a Grand Fondo. You can race this thing. You can go wherever you want to go with this thing, and it will probably be very, very, very functional with that bicycle. But now you're seeing even China bike companies, they'll put out even like, I think Tavello has their like crazy top of line frame in their Tavello Aero, which is like their ludicrous model, which is the lightest weight carbon fiber you can get. And I've even seen companies back in the past, which I won't name, that will claim it's the lightest weight carbon fiber, but really they're just shedding off the paint and running like a raw nude color. And that saves them about 150 grams of paint. And then it's the exact same layup, but they go ahead and claim that it's crazy lightweight. So yeah, but it's not just across the road bike lineup. It's the exact same for the mountain bike lineups as well, where you'll have, this is their top of the line Specialized Epic 8 S-Works model, and they have a Fact Carbon 12M standing for mountain, which is their lightest weight carbon fiber layup you can get in the Epic. And then you can get as well right next to it, this is their Epic 8 in the Fact Carbon 11M. I don't know if that's going to show up. Yeah, 11M, which is one tier lower on that as well. But recently, I think like the past 5 years or so, Specialized, for the stump jumper lineup, which a lot of my customers did not like, they took away the change of carbon fiber layups from the stump jumpers, where the S-Works was the exact same carbon fiber lineup as the comp or the expert and everything like that. So everyone's like, hey, what am I paying the S-Works badge for? Really, you're just getting an upgrade in the Fox suspension, the nicer brakes, the nicer wheels and stuff like that. And now you're even seeing that as well. I mean, Specialized is not claiming this on the new Diverge, but Specialized doesn't even offer an S-Works Diverge. They just have a Diverge Limited, where this is only a 9R carbon fiber frame for their top of the line Diverge bike, which is a $10,500 bicycle model. Now, when it comes down to gravel, mountain bikes and stuff like that, yes, people still want lightweight, but really they want to make sure that the frame is robust enough that if they're riding on single track mountain bikes, they're getting rocks throughout the frame, they don't want it to break because of excessive force coming down a little drop. Maybe they hit a rock and they take a tumble on it. They want to make sure the frame is structurally sound all the way through. Whereas on like a light end road bike, you can shave off some weight on this top tube, or you can shave off some weight on the down tube, or whatever it is that they want to shave off weight on. So you'll see this more and more where companies are saving. They don't really care about the carbon fiber layup as much in terms of crazy lightweight. They just want to make sure the thing is, 1, stiff, 2, performs, and 3 is robust enough to go ahead and take some of that damage. But yeah, there you have it. That is the main difference between an S-Works frame and a regular Specialized frame on here. And going forward, these are both Tarmac SL8s. It's a third-year bicycle. There could be rumors of coming out of an SL9 or maybe a new bicycle road bike coming out next year. Hopefully in the summertime, fingers crossed, we'll see. But if we do see that, then we might see the SL8 come out with a 9R carbon fiber frame and putting into a sport model. Or maybe you'll see it built up with like a 105 Di2 at $3,500, because they're able to achieve perfection to build these bicycles, and then they can use just a heavier carbon fiber layup, put at a lower price point, and then have their flagship models at their Expert, Pro, and S-Works models. But basically, S-Works is going to be always marked with the 12R, which that was an increase because about 5 or 6 years ago, it used to be only 11R, but now 12R is top of the line. Pros will be 10R, and that's going to be Comp, Expert, and Pros will have 10R carbon fiber. These frames are around 800 grams, and these frames are around 685 grams, unpainted, in a size medium. So, lightest, stiffest, and a $1,700 price point increase. $3,500 for the frame, $5,700 for the frame there. If you guys have any questions or you found this video informative or useful or entertaining, please give it a like or a thumbs up. If you guys want more of these videos where I can kind of break it down to you, not so deep dive, but just more in terms of consumer terms or layman terms, feel free to let me know any kind of opinions that you guys want. We deal with this stuff on a day-to-day basis. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.